Welcome to the Soho Cinema Club, and this week we're going to be looking at a really cool Japanese film from 1969 called The Funeral Parade of Roses. I saw this quite a while ago, but I haven't seen it in a bit, so I'm looking forward to watching it with my two friends.
Jared, Wedding Parade of Tulips Carlson.
Sean, Death March of Tulips.
And do you guys, have you heard of this film?
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
I've also heard of it, but I've never seen it. But I have seen this actress in in a few other films.
Yeah, and she became really popular. My late wife Reiko told me about her, and she became very popular as a general sort of family entertainer on Japanese TV, and had a very long career. I don't know, is she still alive?
She is still alive and still acting.
Still acting, still doing stuff.
She's the one in Ron, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
she plays the jester following the old king.
I was actually reading about, because she's a famous trans activist, right? In Japan?
Yeah.
I was reading about her a few months ago, and I had no idea she was in this film, so this is a neat coincidence.
Yeah.
But the first thing I saw her in was Zatoichi Goes to the Fire Festival, because I was watching all the Zatoichi films at one point.
I've seen that as well.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She has a pretty, not a big role, but she's in it a few times.
But this is her first film, is it?
It's her first, yes.
It's her first. Okay, great. Well, let's just get into it, because it's a great film. Looking forward to seeing what you guys think of it. And, okay. Roll the projector, Barry!
ピーター、このエディって主人公どう思う？
そうですね。なんかね、自分にすごく感じが似ていてね。やっぱり自分がこういうね、女の子になってみたいってやっぱり好きだから。
Okay, so we've just watched Funeral Parade of Roses, and yeah, I mean, I've seen it before. I love it.
I can see why, because it has everything in a way.
It's very good.
It's really good.
And it's, you know what, when I first saw it, it just got me excited about filmmaking. Beyond just the subject matter, it's what's missing in, not that every film can be like this, but what I miss about film in general is that sense of just, we can have a go. We can just, we can just experiment with the format, with just what film can be in commercial film. I know this isn't like a super low budget thing. I mean, it had a decent release, I think, in Japan. I've seen the posters, and like the works of Nicholas Roeg and directors like that, they were willing to just try some unusual things. Yeah. And I know it's using a lot of techniques that were used a lot in underground filmmaking, but it also takes the mickey out of the whole underground movement at the same time as using methods from that movement. I mean, there's so much in it, but I just found it such an exciting piece of filmmaking.
It's part documentary, part narrative film, but also the film's just narratively all over the place structurally. It makes sense though, because I
wouldn't say it's all over the place. That sounds like it's disorganized, but I think it's really well structured.
What I mean is it gives you pieces.
Yeah.
And then as the film goes on, it'll be like, actually, let's go back a little bit further for this segment.
Yeah.
And then it gives you a little bit of that. And it's like, oh, that's the lead up to this.
Yeah, it totally plays it like Rogue's films and a lot of films of that period, but especially Rogue's and this one. They really play. I mean, time is just totally plastic. They play around with everything. But it really makes you think as you're watching it. And then there's some hilarious moments. There's some technically wonderful moments as well, where you watch it and as a filmmaker you think, wow, that's a really interesting way of doing that.
Yeah.
Which isn't just...
It was filled with that.
Oh, so many moments where, that's why when we praise certain directors, I won't name them, but you just think, you haven't seen enough fucking films.
Yeah.
You simply haven't, to overpraise some filmmakers.
What I like is it goes all over the place in terms of styles, but it's cohesive. Like 1 minute we're in the interview portions where it's either various transvestites on the street, interviewing them, or like interviewing them about the film.
Transsexual.
Yeah, they're not transvestites. They live as women.
They do.
And what a wonderful way of looking at as they call, gay boys in the film.
They do call them
gay
that
boys.
a lot.
Yeah. The transgendered community in Japan during the late 60s. It's just, I don't know, I think it's a beautiful film, and it looks upon them as beautiful, normal people, bitchy, normal, happy, sad, devious.
Yeah.
They're just characters.
Yeah.
There's no like, moral lens going, oh, these are nasty people, or we should laugh at these people, or, which you did get, there's a lot of films even films I like Staircase, with Richard Burton and Rex Harrison play a gay couple, but it's still played for laughs, and it's two straight guys, playing them.
Harry! Oh, and our mournful stint, are we? Mournful stint, twit.
Oh, shut your mouth. Keep the draft out.
Oh, thank you, Florence Nightingale.
It's still a bold, anything was bold in those days, but this, for 69...
This is bold.
Yeah.
This is bold.
It would make a great double bill with, was it Boy Stroke Girl?
Joe, are you frightfully tired after the journey?
Of course she isn't, George. Look at her. Closely.
I see the table is laid for 7. You've got people coming round. How nice. Since I met Joe, I have this incredible desire to put her on show.
I'm not mad to be put on display, but of course I'd love to meet your friends.
Thank you.
Have you forgotten?
No, George. No one is coming to this house tonight.
But that came and went. You can tell that was released for about a day and then vanished. I'd never heard of it. So, Jared.
Yes. I mean, I always have a hard time discussing films that I actually respect, because I don't know where to begin.
I guess the beginning.
It captures a very specific moment in time.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to forget how tumultuous the 60s were, not just in the US, but across the entire globe. You had all these violent revolutions. Even in the US, we had
Kent State.
I was thinking more of like the Weather Underground and
like there was one shot I thought it was like taken from Watts.
Yeah.
Like that right, and then it's like no, it was like a certain right from Japan.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like background, but oddly enough, all the same issues in Japan are still going on. The concerns about supporting U.S. imperialism, nuclear power is still a big issue, especially after Fukushima. And also, there's still a culture war going on in Japan. You get a little bit of it in this film where there's a protester talking about how the education system is corrupt. And you're not really sure what side they're on, but I'm assuming that was more of a nationalist agitator, and that's still a big topic in Japan. I mean, it's kind of taken the entire world by storm currently.
To move away from the political side of violence, going back to the film's violence, it gets really dark in a lot of places. Like when we see the mother character getting stabbed, it's not explained. It's not explained. It's just shown. And
do you think that actually happened?
For the character, I guess maybe.
Because I wasn't sure whether or not in the scene. I mean, we're going to give away spoilers, aren't we?
Yeah,
I mean, we have to.
But that wasn't the father in that scene.
No,
that was a different man.
No, that was like a stepfather or something.
Yeah.
Not stepfather,
or
like a lover.
John.
And she'd obviously gone through lots of sexual abuse. Because we saw a different person.
Yeah.
Earlier on, obviously coming on to her.
Yeah.
So she'd gone to a series of, I would imagine, that's what my impression was, a series, just an abusive set of situations with all these guys that the mother would pick up.
And in the
interview, but whether or not that was a fantasy or a reality, in killing both the mother and the boyfriend.
Yeah.
In the interview before, like the actor states, "Oh, I relate to this character a lot completely, minus the incest."
Yeah. I was like,
and I was thinking, wait, what incest? Did the mother do something? And then when the ending happens, it's like, oh
god, it's Oedipus.
It's old boy and Oedipus. It's Oedipus. I know.
It's a great insight into that moment in time and that culture in that moment in time in that country. And when you think about it, it was because how many films have we seen of drug taking in 60s, late 60s kids, and
a lot.
How many times have you seen that in the gay culture or transgendered culture,
or specifically Japan? Because Japan has some of the strictest laws against drugs,
specifically marijuana.
Yeah, marijuana. You might
like McCartney got arrested for it.
Well, he was trying to get into the country, so they just turned him around.
Yeah. No, he still went to jail.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he went to jail.
Yeah, he went to jail.
Yeah.
Oh, what a funny man. That Paul.
He spent a few nights in jail, and he got out of it by basically just singing to the prisoners and just trying to keep it the peace. And it's funny.
I don't believe that.
No. No, that's what he said. But speaking of that, there's a few Beatle imagery in this film.
A couple posters.
Like a Yellow Submarine Ringo.
I got blisters on my fingers!
Well, okay, so that was in Japan, they were heavy on drugs. What about the sexuality? What about homosexuality? What was I don't know what the laws were in Japan.
They were very strict for a while until
I have no idea.
Here's in Japan and a lot of countries in East Asia, there is a cultural history of I don't know like the political correct term, but basically somebody who society views as a man dressing as a woman and doing sex work. Like in the Philippines, they still call them lady boys, and in this film, they're referring to them as gay boys?
Gay boys.
Yeah,
And so there's a cultural element that we don't have in the West, and that makes it's strange because you also have this clash where during Japan's modernization, they took a lot of Western ideas. It was still taboo, but not like in the Christian West where it's like, oh, you're going to hell. You need to go to jail or we're going to kill you. It was like, this is a segment of the population. They're not really high caste or caste, but, they exist and they don't need to be exterminated. But then we kind of brought these values. So I'm not sure... It was obviously much more accepted because the police go to them, and they're not like, "Oh, we're going to arrest you."
We don't see any scenes which you would have got in an American or British film. You would get the scenes of either some form of gay bashing, from either authority figures like the police, or the court system, or just some local thugs. Or like if it had been a British film, I think the guy that she's helped, who was the young guy who the protester, that could have. I think in a British film they would have, and rightly so, because it's showing what people experience. But there could have been that the moment where he realizes she's a boy and then freaks out.
But there is one sequence when it's the three of them against the girls.
Yeah.
That's like the only really...
No, but that's not the same. So they've been paid. That was set up. That was the madam who set that up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's why...
I blanked on that part.
Yeah.
There was a lot
going on. There was a lot,
yeah. Yeah, because in Japan there's a culture, isn't there? Like the little Japanese opera.
Yeah, kabuki.
And it's the female roles. It's like old theatre, like Shakespearean theatre. It's all men. So yeah, there's that cultural thing, but I don't know about the, like the legality of homosexuality.
I have no. We're not experts. We're just three guys who watched a movie. So forgive us if we get to
who occasionally check things out on the phone, but most times we don't.
From what I quickly glanced,
we do in this case.
Oh, yeah. Shut up! From what I quickly glanced at, there are laws in certain locations in Japan that are basically trying to stop discrimination. And they are trying to uphold it, but also in other areas, it's not really there. So it just depends where you are. So in many places, it's like many places in the world, some parts are more progressive than others.
But I think what Jared said does affect, there's a general culture towards it. Like
there's like a long history.
Like in England, there's a long history of women in drag, men in drag, as entertainers.
Yeah.
And we have, Danny LaRue.
I'm at the candy store.
Dick Emery.
Hello.
Hello, miss. May I ask you, do you lead a very active social life?
Oh, yes. My boyfriend says I'm never available. I have so many hobbies and I belong to so many societies.
Well, hasn't he ever asked you to drop them? Well, if you did, he'd see a lot more of you.
Oh, I like you.
Clubs, there's pantomime. It's just Little Britain.
It's got a sheet of lead in it. It deflects the radiation.
But I'm a lady. I don't have testicles. Well, perhaps little lady's testicles might this do for me instead?
It's just fully accepted. I mean, but homosexuality, I'm not tying that in, but it's just countries have different cultural levels of acceptance of different things, whereas
that's kind of the opposite, because in that case it's like, oh, it's funny because it's men wearing dresses, whereas this, gender is much more fluid, and in Japan it's just like, oh yeah, that's just
Danny LaRue he used to, he was gay, but his famous club in Soho, where a lot of comedians and writers started their careers, he would always end his show by telling people, but I'm a man, and he would take the makeup off,
Yeah.
He was obsessed with coming on as himself at the end. Danny, for a long time, didn't come out overtly at all. In fact, he liked to create the impression that there was, carrying on with the girls in the show, and there was no hypocrisy in their not coming out. They'd have been ruined and probably gone to prison. It's awful looking back at that era.
He always had to show he was a man. We had, so incredibly camp comedians we had on TV. Larry Grayson.
What a gay day.
And even when he was being interviewed, he would insist he wasn't gay.
Yeah.
He was the gayest man on the planet.
Yeah.
I went in the other day, feathers everywhere. Feathers. I thought there'd been a cockfight. No such luck.
It was just that the fear in the culture. Yeah. But yet everyone knew.
But because they won't, they lie about it. It's the don't ask, don't tell thing.
Yeah. So, it was also very, 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 you're talking about sex, it was an incredibly sensual film.
Yeah.
Oh, it opens
and, and as three heterosexual guys watching it.
Hello, boy.
It worked. It's a very beautiful, I found the whole thing a beautiful film, and I cared about the characters.
My favorite sequence was when she's with is he an American soldier?
Yes.
Yeah. The American soldier, and they're doing it. It's very sensual, and then it cuts, and it's like a set. He's on the other side of the bed
of the film. That
I love those whenever they popped up
because it talks about masks.
Yeah,
it does.
Masks all the time, even the roses, the plastic.
Yeah,
everything is something that is pretending to be something else.
Yeah,
as we all do.
Yeah,
as we all do. We all wear, like here. We come here and we're, we want to uplift, and we want to uplift our generous, beautiful, fantastic audience, who are probably not generous, beautiful, or fantastic, because they're all wearing masks. We all wear masks in different situations. Yeah. And there's that scene in the art gallery where there's the voiceover on the tape, and the voiceover, it's like, even that, what is that? It's just I know it's disembodied, but then we actually see the tape playing. Yeah. So it's always revealing the artifice of everything.
Yeah.
So we talk to the actors, the real actors. So Peter will talk about the role she's playing.
Yeah.
And then we see her in the role, and then we have flashbacks, and then we see other. It's like even the character. There's one of the characters. She hangs out with this group who are sort of avant-garde hipsters.
Yeah.
And one of them's obsessed with Che Guevara and has a...
His name's Guevara.
Well, hey?
His name's Guevara.
Yeah, he goes by it.
Yeah, he goes by it. Yeah, because he's obsessed. And so
he has a fake beard.
Yeah, he has a fake beard and the fake mustache, which is... It's all part of that, isn't it? It's creating a persona. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't matter as long as you're happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? So I...
Does anybody have like a favorite scene or a moment?
Oh gosh,
there's
a lot.
Many. One of mine is when we're in the room again. It's after they watch the film. They decide to have a party and just start taking drugs and just go all over.
And the camera follows each person.
It follows each person on a line, and
as the joint's being passed, one to another.
That's a beautiful sequence, as well as like everyone just rolling around having a good time. It's nice.
I have one. I can't remember where it is, but it's one where, is it? I think it's Peter and then the madam, Eddie, the character Eddie played by Peter, and the madam, and they're in a room, and that's it. It's the gunfight.
The gunfight.
But you know, there's like two cuts. There's 3 shots.
Yeah.
And instead of having them move around, just in like cut, it goes from them. It just changes. They're either side of the room, and then they change position, and then they're at closer position. But it's just got so much energy.
Yeah,
it's just a different way of doing it.
I love the intercut. I love the intercuts of other people too reacting. Like you see people come out behind the curtains, people come up behind the bar.
Yeah,
and then, I love the cut where it was just like still photos of them, but then they had speech bubbles in,
and they were just saying curse words at each other.
Horrible thing.
Yeah, horrible, awful things.
And then full of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
But at the beginning as well, those. You know, the very sensual sort of erotic scenes where she's kissing her lover and the lover's kissing her over the titles.
Mm-hmm.
And it would fade to white, and then it would be a white screen. And then I remember it was a white screen, and then the white screen sort of parted, and it was the legs.
Yes.
That was like fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just...
The film plays with editing so well.
It's full of so many good ideas. And even though there's a lot of them, the fact that it's playful, and it is playful because it also has a lot. It's sense of humor. Like the fight scenes are all sped up.
Yeah,
it's all vaudeville, silent type.
Well, it made me think about Kubrick. Did he ever watch that?
He did.
Yes.
Oh, he did.
And he just stole it.
He got inspiration.
Yeah, he just stole tons of stuff from that, especially the sped up bedroom scene.
Clockwork Orange. I was about to say.
So he did see it.
I read this. I read this before the film. He watched this film. Well, right before making Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, of course he did.
Oh, I'm going to do that.
And like in those sped up scenes, I love the calliope music.
Oh, I know.
My favorite. I think those scenes are probably my favorite because I mean they're very light and slapsticky, and it really helps to kind of take the edge off because it's a very heavy film at the same time.
Yeah,
like it's like the dealing with like the heaviest topics that you can, and it just has that really nice balance. So it's not like absolutely soul crushing. Like you're not weeping through the night afterwards. There's like these little moments. So between tears, you're like, "Oh, that was funny."
I think there's more moments where plenty more moments where it's fun.
Yeah.
But not like filled with depression.
At one point near the end of the film, in the third act, you're starting to get like the really heavy stuff, and suddenly it just cuts to
and really gory stuff.
Yeah, like
shocking gory.
It's you're not expecting it.
Lucio Fulci gore.
Yeah, better.
Yeah, because it's cut quicker.
Yes,
so you can't Fulci just hangs on, and you're going, oh
yeah, it's just plastic.
Yeah, actually, the gore more reminded me of Yojimbo, specifically the scene at the end. Spoiler. Where the guy gets stabbed, and in actuality, the prop master added too much blood, and it just exploded everywhere.
Especially the mom stuff where it goes.
Yeah,
or the scene in the bathroom with all the blood on the wall.
But we were just talking about though that they knew how to cut it.
Yeah.
So like when, without giving anything away, when you saw like a knife going into a certain part of the body. It was done so quickly. It was very shocking.
And it also helps that it's black and white. Yeah.
Well, black and white, don't you find it's interesting? Black and white films don't date as much as color films.
Because it's just black and white, whereas color, there's different film stocks that are like pinpoint that era.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so we have talked about the star, haven't we? Peter.
Yeah, we talked about them before.
Yeah, because I know when I watched this, I watched this late. It was late at night, and I mentioned it to Reiko, and she was saying, "Oh yeah." I said, "Oh, this is a great film. You'll enjoy it." And as soon as I showed it, it was like it'd be like someone showing me a picture of Benny Hill
or Jerry Lewis,
and just someone who's very Benny Hill, British culture, or Tommy Cooper. And say, look at this guy. And I'm like, yeah, they're on TV all the time, So she knew Peter from just being a TV performer, celebrity, just having a massive career. So she's still working now?
Yeah, her last thing was in about 2017, and right now she's about 72.
Oh, still young.
We need to work with her.
At some point,
we need to write something. And then save up. We could sell lemonade to save up money so we can fly her out here and pay her.
Yeah.
And then we need to make a film with her.
And we just do that game from the movie where it's walking across the line.
Yeah, walking across the line.
I like that game where they're just kicking the inflatable around.
Yeah, the chair.
That just would be fun.
I was watching that. I was like, we need to bring back inflatable furniture, but we shouldn't. I don't know why I thought that. I think I was just charmed, but that was a horrible invention.
Yes.
It's horrible.
Okay, so to sum up, I know we've said a lot, but Sean, would you recommend this to your friends?
Absolutely. I'm going to talk to everybody about this at work tomorrow because they need to see this. I think it's a unique film in so many ways, like we just talked about. And I think everybody should see this. It should be shown in film schools just to say, here's something that it's progressive in so many ways, and also
the way it shows queer culture.
The way it shows queer culture, the way it shows how you can just make a film be anything.
Yeah, I love Peter.
Just Peter. Yeah. Jared.
Yes, everyone, especially now in the current climate, like this film treats transgendered people as people, and it was nice to see with the current events going on.
Yeah,
it's nice to see.
It's still poignant. Like it's even more poignant now, especially in the U.S. Than it was when it was released. I mean, just see it.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly, and I'm glad. I'm happy that we finally saw it. I've had the Blu-ray. I don't know, a year and a half.
A year and a half.
Something like that. Highly recommended. All just beyond the sexual politics. It's a wonderful piece of really inventive, flexible, I would call, creatively very flexible filmmaking that all film students should watch. Just so you're not thinking filmmaking is just... Terminator or a Scorsese film, and that's it. And broaden your horizons, I think.
And if you don't have any ideas, just do like Kubrick and steal from this film.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you do check out this film. So it's goodbye from me, Miles Flanagan.
Goodbye from me, Jared Carlson.
And adios from Sean.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I didn't know what that was.
All right, good night.
Good night.